I can hear you. And we are live, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I want to welcome everybody to another edition of our Facebook Live show. I'm your host, Emmanuel Michael, joined by attorney Charles Irvin and Leslie Peters of Irvin Law. And we have joined folks to give you all the tools, strategies, and insights you in order to be successful in growing not only your personal credit, but also your business credit, anything you need when it comes to business in this lifetime. That's right, in this lifetime. So we're here to stay, baby. So again, we just want to appreciate everybody for hopping on. We're gonna jump right into it because we kind of got short for time yesterday as we were going over our 6 steps to building business credit, our 6 steps to building business credit. So we're going to do a quick recap on what the first 3 steps were. And then we're going to go ahead and pick up on the last 3 steps today before we get into today's topic, which is the fastest way to improve your credit score. So step 1 was establish your business or company structure. We went over that. Step 2 was make sure you're corporate compliant. Make sure you're corporate compliant. Step 3 was business bank account. Now, Charles, today, step 4 is business phone line. Business phone line. You want to take that one? You want Pete to get it?
That would be a great one for Leslie since he's done a great deal of research on it. I can give you a couple tidbits on it. You want to have a business line to distinguish yourself because the last thing you want, especially when you're trying to expand your product or expand your reach, is for a potential lender or a potential client to call your personal line and it not be professional. Um, that's just a practical tidbit. And that's one of the things that you can use to distinguish yourself. And with today's technology, there are many, many different ways you can go that will help you establish a business presence. And that's part of it, ties in with 1, 2, and 3 because you want to have a sound structural presence. And unlike the days of old where you had landlines, now you have voice over IP. But I'll let Pete talk about those things and how you can take advantage of technology.
He's
Yeah,
doing it
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this is a great example of it. I'm mobile and in my car in a parking lot coming to you before I go into a seminar. But you want to have a business communication that is flexible in 2017. So your landline no longer should exist. And here's what I mean by that. If your landline only works when you're physically at your desk, then you don't have the right phone system for 2017. Your landline should essentially be connected to you wherever you are. So you have the ability from that landline, if you need to leave and head out to go see an appointment, you can click a button and switch from your desk phone to your cell phone and never miss a beat of the conversation. You can do virtual meetings, whether it's Facebook Live like we're doing today or doing a webinar from wherever you are. So there's no sense of really missing any phone calls or missing any critical information anymore in 2017. So there's some great options out there today, and a lot for you to choose from, really. So one of the just to name a couple of the big players in the market, and certainly not all. There are a lot of others, but if you're just starting out, small business, you want to look at Grasshopper. Companies like Ring Central. There's another one called Pickup, Picup. That's another great startup for entry-level startup businesses that will not break your pocketbook, but will provide a lot of value for you in terms of services.
Man,
Emmanuel, before we go any
go ahead.
before we go any further, I want to add one thing to that because there may be some truth, and if there are, check out Google. Check out their product base. You can find 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things within Google Suite that can help you advance your business. I don't work for Google. I don't get paid by Google, but I just wanted to put that tidbit out there for people who may be starting up.
Well,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna give a shameless plug. I work with Ring Central, so you need to go to teamextremevm.info. But again, Ring Central, not only do I, we laughing and joking about that, but Ring Central is a good system. But the reason why I like it is because you're able to register 411, you're able to register 911, because if you get a VoIP system, you want to make sure that you're able to properly register that with the emergency response systems that are out there in your local area. And if you don't have that, then if something happens at your company, your business, and you got your phone on your hip, you call 911, they go into your location where you got it registered. Okay, so you want to be sure that as small business owners and as we're growing our companies and our brands, you want to make sure that not only you're taking advantage of the technology, but just be mindful that you have all the bases covered, because those are the things that the credit reporting agencies like your Dun and Bradstreet or your Experian business credit reporting companies, these lenders out here, those are the things that they're looking for. They want to make sure that your phone is actually registered, with those emergency response, the fire department, the police department, 4111, and all that kind of stuff. So that's step 4, business phone line. Step 5 is what everybody talk about, Leslie. Step 5, everybody talks about Dun and Bradstreet, my Paydex score.
Yes.
Experian business credit, okay? Guys, this is a absolute must in business, okay? This is an absolute must. Now, when we were coming up, Charles and Leslie, y'all are older than me, but back in Mississippi when we was coming up, that you had the guy down the street that, they may have loaned your grandmother some a turkey or a chicken or something, she said, I'm gonna pay you next week when my check come. And that was in essence, that was our form of credit. Now things are it's such a large scale, and different people moving in cities, so we don't know who's who. So they had to have some type of credit system set up in place. Even though you may be a good person and you may pay your bills, but at the end of the day, they want to know that your company can stand on its own as well. If you're not going to be the personal guarantee person on that account, they want to make sure that you have a proper business credit score set up. Take that one, Leslie.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, you hear us talking about Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion all the time. That's personal credit bureaus. Dun and Bradstreet, Experian Business Credit, that's the business credit bureaus. And so what happens is this: if you have built, and you have to call them, it doesn't just happen automatically. And let me just tell you up front, you're going to have to pay some money to establish your business credit accounts and portfolios with those services. So it's a little different than the personal credit side. However, when you go to apply for credit, if you have the proper business credit profile, you will not have to personally guarantee, and they won't be checking your personal credit for a business credit or a business loan. And so that's where you want to get to. At first, when you start out, when you don't have that business credit, you're going to have to do that. But you want to matriculate over time that as you're building your business credit, you won't have to do that anymore. And so they stand totally independent of each other. You file your taxes independent of each other. They're both separate entities. Is where you eventually want to be.
It's like co-signing for your son or daughter. They just graduated high school, they're getting set up in life, and you got to co-sign. The same thing with your business. If you're just starting out with your company and your business, you may have to co-sign for your business, okay? However, if you hadn't been listening to us, if you don't have your personal credit together, guess what? It's going to be that much more harder for you in order to get established. And that's why we're stressing, please get your personal credit done so we can work on your business, or do it simultaneously, but do not neglect the fact that you got to get that done. Okay. That's step 5. Step 6 is business credit vendors. And if you guys go over to creditmasterslive.com, if you go to that page, you scroll to the bottom, you'll see all 3 of us, all the speakers here on the bottom of that page. Put your email address in, guys. Once you put your email address in, you're going to be able to go to a page that we have segmented where you can choose you want to know more information about personal credit, business credit, or digital business development. If you click on the business credit portal, put your email address in, we're going to send you a list of level 1 vendors that you can utilize in your business today. 626 tomorrow. You can get started when they open up. You can apply. However, we just encourage you to make sure that you got, a lot of these steps 1 through 5 already done before you start doing it. And if you need help with that, you can inbox us at Credit Masters Live Facebook page or Urban-Law Facebook page, and we'll love to get you the information you need. So that wraps up those 6 steps, guys. Step 1, establish your business company structure. Step 2, make sure you're corporate compliance. Step 3, business bank account. Step 4, business phone line. Step 5, Dun and Bradstreet account number or Experian account number. And step 6 is your business credit vendors. Now all you have to do is put those steps to work, guys, and you're well on your way. Now, let's talk about my favorite topic, Leslie and Chuck. Can I call you Chuck? I be wanting to say it so much all the time.
You're giving up family secrets. That's okay.
The fastest way to improve your credit score, guys. The fastest way. That's the topic that everybody want to know. How to get AAA credit. How can I raise my credit? So I'm gonna pass it off to Leslie again, Charles, unless you want to step in. But I know Leslie love to talk about this. I love to talk about it. He and I set up, and we've talked about this for almost an hour and a half one day until I told him I gotta go. But go ahead.
You know what? Yeah, and I'm gonna set it up, and I'm gonna kick it back to you to slam dunk it. But here's the thing: we talked about it on day 1 in the very first episode, how your score is created and what percentage equals what. In other words, what makes up the big 3 of your credit score. And there's really the big 2, and then there's some caveats to make up the other components. The big 2 is your payment history. And so keep in mind history. History means it's already happened in the past. We can't change your history. That's your history. And then it's credit utilization. That one we can affect. So the fastest way to impact your credit score immediately is to be able to deal with credit utilization, which constitutes 30% of your credit score. So here's how you know if you're an ideal candidate for that. If you add up, if you look at your credit cards, take each one, look at the credit limit you have available, and then look at what your balance is. If your balance is more than 30% of your credit limit, you got a credit utilization problem.
I just shared that on the screen. Can you see that, Leslie?
I can.
Okay, so we can actually talk about this, Charles and Leslie, as we go through it, because this is what, a lot of people don't know this. This, like you just said, that's 30% the amount that you owe. So if you owe people and you're not paying them, that's 30% of your credit profile. 30%, that's a big chunk out of your score. Then you look at their payment history, which is 35%. So if you add the payment history and the amount you owe, you're looking at 65% of your score that's being calculated right there. And Charles, you can hop in on this one. This is why I tell a lot of people, you can't just deal with any old Tom, Dick, and Harry out here that's affecting your personal financial portfolio. Guys, when you go out here and you are hiring these people, or you paying them $100, $200, $150, you think you got somebody going to work on your credit. They read a book in the library, or they say they can do this and that. What happens is I get these stories all the time, and Leslie, I know you get them, where people have gone in and they have butchered up a person's credit report, and they deleted the wrong stuff off their report. I don't care if the thing is been paid and owed, you had 4 or 5 late payments. If you delete that history, that is 35% of your credit profile, and that is devastating to know. In addition to that, you got your length of credit history that's affected by that too. So, Charles, if you got something you wanna touch on that?
Sure. I look at it like this, Emmanuel. When you decide on who you're going to hire, some of the questions and some of the things you need to have in the back of your mind is this. Anyone can do a scrub of your entire credit portfolio, credit history. But you need to know, as you said, if you do that complete scrub, that's going to knock some key things out of play. It's like making a cake without eggs. You need those eggs. You need those eggs to hold. That's what holds things together. Mm-hmm. So we like to take a scalpel instead of a stick of dynamite, and that way you can change how you approach aggressive. You can be aggressive with a scalpel. Surgeons use it on the daily to save lives. So we're gonna use it. We're gonna use it in a way to save your credit life. But you know what happens when you light a stick of dynamite and you throw it in there. That whole 100% is shuffled. Exactly. And so you may have 15 years of payment history. You may have some lates in there. But if they take it all out with that stick of dynamite, you don't get the advantage of it. You're not gonna be able to use it. And so that's how we approach things. And I'm quick to tell anyone, I don't worry about what other companies do. I don't worry about what other firms do. I know what we do, and we do it well. And so that's my approach. That's Leslie's approach. And I know that's your approach. You want to do a full dive into what exactly is listed in the credit report, line by line, and then weigh out how you're going to go about crafting a plan for that individual to help them improve their credit history. I think that's the only way to do it.
Absolutely. And Leslie, I know you're gonna jump in. I'm gonna give the number out real quick, and I want to give the website. I'm actually working on my phone as well. I'm gonna put the website at the bottom of the link, guys. It's changemyscores with an s.com. Changemyscores with an s.com. That phone number is 601-340-6800. That's 601-340-6800. And if you didn't get any of that, inbox us on our Irvin-Law Facebook page or Credit Masters Live Facebook page, and someone will be in contact with you within 24 to 48 hours. Now, Leslie, I put out there about the emergency stabilization kit, and that's what people can get at changemyscores.com. Now, I know you're going to finish up the other part of this credit breakdown, but, go ahead and talk to them also about the importance of why that stabilization kit is needed in this day and age when you look at this FICO breakdown here.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think we have a lot of people that are sitting and listening and say, you know what? Hey, I can tackle this myself. And one thing Charles, and along with myself and all three of us will tell you, you can do what we do. The question is whether you have the time and whether you're going to put in the effort, because it does involve a lot of work. But I will tell you what we've done for people like that want to take the burden of doing it on their own. We want to help you. So we've created the Emergency Stabilization Kit that directly deals with that credit utilization. It gives you a calculator, lets you put in all of your debt by the month. It automatically calculates what percentage you are on which debt, so you know which cards you need to attack first. It's a debt reduction calculator in there that shows you how to pay off your debt, how to reduce your debt, which cards to pay off first, how much to pay on each card. And then we provide you with a sample inquiry removal letter for your hard inquiry removals and a sample letter for collection agency disputes. So this is a package that we normally sell, and it's a $99 package. I mean, for these 4 great tools, we're making that available doing this blitz for $9.95. I mean, it's unbelievable. So literally, we're practically giving it away, because we're basically giving it away for the cost that it takes us to put it and the infrastructure for you to be able to get it and download it. But that is literally what we're providing for you. And you can start working on that credit utilization right now and make sure that you are able to get your full 30% counting positive in a positive way for you and not counting against you. So that's very critical there.
And, that's right.
And so going forward.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, Emmanuel.
Well, you made a statement ago. You made a statement, that you can do this yourself. Now, Charles, you also can represent yourself in a murder trial too, can't you?
Yes, you can.
You
Called pro
also
se
can represent
litigation.
yourself in a foreclosure too, right?
Yes, you can.
You can.
I wouldn't advise it, but hey, you can do it. That's all I got to say on that
Okay,
one.
Emmanuel and Leslie, before we go any further, Mr. George Pristel has brought a question to the table. And he says,
Okay.
I'm with the company and I'm about to send dispute letters. Is there any other avenue to help grow and restore credit? You guys want to talk to him about that real quick since it's timely as you're talking about the FICO breakdown.
Ask that again. You
Emmanuel,
faded out. Go ahead, Leslie, because he faded out on my end.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll repeat that. The fastest way to affect it is if he can look at he needs to get the stabilization kit and calculate his credit utilization. And in areas where his utilization is over 30%, he needs to pay down those cards to get under 30%. That's going to help give his score a boost very quickly, almost immediately. That's the fastest way. So attacking the credit utilization is going to be the fastest way to get his scores up. And we have at changemyscores.com. We have that tool that'll do all the calculating for you. And again, we have 4 tools there for $9.95.
Absolutely.
Let me say real quick. I want to thank George for the question, and I wanted to ask a question. So let's say devising a strategy for people that are doing it on their own. Let's say they start paying off credit cards, as you said. They start attacking the problem. I hear almost every week people say, well, I paid off that credit card and I cut it up and I count. You that score.
Charles, thank you for that great question. That is the absolute worst thing you can do. When you pay off the credit card and you cut the credit card up or you close the account, you have just reduced your credit available. Therefore, you have increased your credit utilization score. So you, in turn, have decreased your credit score. So here's an example of it. So say you had a credit card that had a $10,000 limit. You had $9,000 balance on that card. You paid the card off. I'm going to give you 2 scenarios. So 2 people, exact scenario. One person pays the card off and they cancel the card. Okay. The other person pays the card off and they just don't spend any more on the card. So here's the difference. You can spend up to $3,000 in your credit utilization or 30% and it doesn't hurt you. But when you cancel the card for the person, number one, when they canceled the card, they went from $10,000 credit available to 0 credit available. So now, even though they have a 0 balance, they have 0 credit available. So their debt utilization is 100%. So guess what? Their score is going to drop dramatically. Whereas on the other side, they have a 0 balance, but they still have a credit available to them of 10,000, and their score is going to jump tremendously.
Yeah,
So pay them off.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say pay them off, but don't close them up. Don't close them down. Pay them off, but don't close them down.
Please don't close. It's a catch-22 situation. A lot of times you so frustrated with the bill that you ran up, of course, but you frustrated with what you did. You're really frustrated at yourself because you did it. The bill is high. You finally get it paid down. What you say, I'm going to cut this thing up. Well, as we had on the screen, you just lost good payment history, length of credit history. You look at, matter of fact, I'm going to pull that back up again as I'm talking, because what people need to realize is you just erased 30%,
Mm-hmm.
15%, so that's 45%. Then you got another 35% that you possibly can impact by doing so. So you don't want to do that. The fastest way to raise your credit score is to raise your high credit limit. That's the quickest and fastest way to raise your credit score. I gave the example the other day. If Charles loans me $100 and I spend $80, and I go back to Charles and say, Charles, I need you to give me can you give me another 100? Then, man, you ain't paid me what you owe me already. Charles don't give me no more credit because my credit is extended with Charles. Leslie turned around and give me $1,000. So now I got $1,000 from Leslie. I got $100 from Charles, which I spent $80. So overall, when FICO calculates the score, they're going to look at the utilization of your overall credit, and your debt that you have on that credit report is showing only $80. Well, you just raise your score by raising your high credit limit. Okay. Now, I got $1,100 worth of available credit. I may have only spent $80, but guess what? My score went up. But if I kept my credit limit at $100, my score is going to drop because it looks like I'm thirsty. It looks like I'm living off my credit card. When you see that kind of stuff, matter of fact, I pulled a credit report yesterday, and for a gentleman, nowhere in the world he should have a 650 credit score. He should be well over 750, 760. But his credit utilization is just too high. He got too much debt that he owe. He got $5,000 card, $10,000 card. He got some nice credit, but he don't understand why he got his credit like that. Now, he said he only has about 3 or 4 cards. I said, well, who's all this other stuff on here? Oh, that's my brother. Co-signing. So he didn't co-sign for his brother. The good thing is brother paying the bills. The brother is paying the bills. However, he co-signed for his brother, and now that affected his personal credit score because he's trying to do something now as well. So you want to be mindful of co-signing for individuals, because when you need your credit, it may not be there because it's already being utilized. And that's why you need to call Irvin Law and the Credit Master, so we can work with you and help you and show you what you need to do to get over the hump with those things. Now, no one's sprinkling pixie dust on your credit report. It's going to be fixed overnight. It's going to take time. However, if you got the time, we got the time, and we're going to work with you. We're going to show you, we're going to teach you, and we're going to help you get to the next level, because there's nowhere in the world in 2017 where we need to have bad credit. It don't make sense. Everybody deserves a second chance, and you can get a second chance here at Credit Masters and Irvin Law. I'll pass it back over to you guys.
I'm going to toss it to Charles for the final words of the day. I just want to thank all the listeners for listening and taking time to get information. Just know that whatever your credit score is today, if you don't like that score, that doesn't have to stay your reality. You can change it by taking action. So don't let it overwhelm you. Don't let it get you down. It's not a death sentence. You can fix that problem.
That's right. That's right.
I think those are wise words to end on. The only thing I would add to that is what I always say, and I'm pretty sure our listeners have caught on. Call us. We can help you.
That's right. And that number is 601-340-6800. Again, that's 601-340-6800. Guys, our time is up. Before we get out of here, we want you to go to Irvin Law Facebook page, like the page. Don't just go there and look at it. Like the page. Go to Credit Masters Live. If you're on Credit Masters Live now, hit the like button. If you're watching this in the replay, hit the thumbs up button, hit the heart button. We want to see some hearts and some thumbs going across the screen. We want everybody to know that we got the juice. I'm telling y'all, we need some questions, because if you're not giving us questions, we're going to give you basic surface information. Question asked, answer given. That's how it works. That's how all masters work, ain't it?
That's right.
We out here. I don't know where you can go. I don't know where you can go where you can get 30 minutes of an attorney time, and you can just sit there and drill questions, and he sit there and answer your questions. Okay. Or a professional like Dr. Peters, he's in his car, guys, in Dallas. I know he had to leave I know you had to leave 2 hours just to get where you're going, because I used to live in Dallas. So I know how long you were committed to going to your event that you're at, but you still stayed in the car because your dedication and your tenacity and your fortitude got you on this call today for the listening audience. So guys, please don't take this by chance. This is a blessing. I'm just excited to be a part of it. And we want you to go ahead and go to Irvin Law's Facebook page. Matter of fact, go to irvin-law.com. Take a look at their website. Go to creditmasterslive.com. Get your free gift on creditmasterslive.com. We got some outstanding information that's going to be coming down the pipeline. Again, this is our episode number 7. And today's title was The Fastest Way to Improve Your Credit Score. Tomorrow, episode 8, we're going to go over the credit score breakdown. Kind of did that today a little bit, but we're going to go a little bit more in detail, the credit score breakdown. And I was thinking about doing a little something special for people. We probably look at I'll talk to Leslie about that, Charles, where we possibly can give out some links in some areas where people can actually utilize secure credit cards and different companies out here to help them actually raise their credit score. What you think about that?
Not a bad
That'll
idea.
be good.
Good. Okay. All right, guys, we definitely appreciate your time. Folks, we appreciate you tuning in. And again, my name is Emmanuel Michael, here with Charles Irvin, Leslie Peters. We appreciate your time today, and we are signing off. As always, our motto here at the Credit Masters and Irvin Law is the results are real.